All right, what's your full name?
Jeffrey Glenn Franklin.
And do you know why your parents selected this name for you?
Well, I was going to be called Michael, and then they changed that to Jeffrey, but I really don't know why.
Did you have a nickname?
No, just Jeff.
All right. When and where were you born?
I was born in 1963 in North Hollywood, California.
How did your family come to live there?
Well, my dad's side of the family immigrated in the 50s from England and landed in San Diego and went to work there. My mom's side of the family lived in Los Angeles, and I'm not sure how they got there.
Were there any other family members in the area?
Yeah, I had a cousin, I had an aunt and an uncle, and I had, well, several aunts and uncles from either side. Los Angeles and San Diego.
All right. Was the house? What was the house like?
Well, I don't really remember houses there because we moved to Sherman area when I was really young and lived in an apartment. And
Okay.
It was very small, 2-story, a couple of bedrooms, and amongst a whole bunch of other apartments.
Okay. Were there any special items in the house that you can remember?
Not really, not anything special. Normal furniture. Don't remember anything special.
Okay. What was your earliest childhood memory?
Kind of a silly little memory, but I remember running down the hall at my grandparents' house, trying to touch the string on the attic door.
All right. Describe the personalities of your family members.
Well, immediate family members?
Yeah.
Like
Your parents.
my parents? Well, my stepdad, who I'll talk about first, is a very country guy, likes farming, agricultural type things, pretty good old boy kind of guy. My mom likes to sew, do quilts, she loves to cook, she cooks well, and she likes to go. She likes to do things and be constantly on the go. On my dad's side of the family, my father is very creative, very artistic. He's kind of an intellectual kind of guy. I guess that's how I would describe him.
Okay. What kind of games did you play growing up?
Well, I played soccer. As far as organized sports, I played soccer. I played baseball for a little while. Did not play video games until Joust was created, and I played Joust all the time. So I grew up in the 80s when, the 70s and 80s when video games became popular, and I did play a lot of Pong.
Did you have a favorite toy?
Yeah, actually I did. I had G.I. Joes. I loved G.I. Joes. I loved slot car sets, and then when I got a little bit older, I absolutely adored my skateboard.
What was your favorite thing to do for fun?
As a kid,
Yeah.
skateboard.
Skateboard.
Yep.
All right. Did you have any family chores growing up?
Yeah, I did. I had the normal cleaning. I had to do dishes quite a bit. That was it, really. The housekeeping and dishes. That's what I remember the most is dishes. Yeah.
So was that your least favorite
Yes.
dishes?
Yes.
Okay. Did you receive an allowance?
Not really. I don't remember ever receiving an allowance.
All right. What was school like for you as a kid?
I was okay at school. I wasn't great at it, but I usually made B's and above, an occasional C, but not often.
So what was your best and worst subjects?
My best subjects became math, but I was not that good at math at first. I started clicking with math later in high school and in college. My worst subjects were probably reading. I just did not like to read.
Okay. Where did you attend grade school?
I went to Sherman for a couple years and then Denison for the rest of the time.
And what about high school?
High school, well, actually Sherman first 2 years and then Denison the last 2 years of high school.
Okay. And then college?
I went to Grayson Junior College for a couple years and then I went to Texas Tech University.
All right. And what school activities and sports did you participate in?
Well, soccer was part of sports in school. Tried out for baseball, didn't make it. I went to a bigger school, so it was pretty competitive. Basketball became too competitive, and I couldn't hang with that very long. I don't know. That was about it for sports. What was the other part of that question?
Any other activities or anything?
Not really.
No. Do you remember any like fads from your youth? Popular hairstyles or clothes or anything?
Yeah, long hair was in. I had long hair. I had hair everywhere for a while.
Not anymore, obviously.
No, not anymore. No. But I did have very long hair for a long time and loved it.
So who are your childhood heroes?
Well, I was kind of the geeky comic book guy. I loved comic books. We didn't have all the video games and all that stuff back then, so the weekly issue of the comic books, I was always there, and I knew exactly when they'd come out at the 7-Eleven on the exact day, and I would be there the minute they unpacked them. So Marvel superheroes were my heroes.
Nice. So what were your favorite songs and music artists?
I was a rock and roll guy in the 80s for sure. Late 70s, early 80s. Favorite songs? I don't know if I ever had favorite songs, but I liked all the popular 80s rock bands.
Any particular artists?
Well, I liked April Wine. I could hang with some of the Led Zeppelin stuff, but they weren't my favorite. I don't know. Thinking back, Bad Company, I liked them a lot. Foghat, I liked them a lot. Journey, liked Journey a ton. That's what I remember. REO Speedwagon. You ever heard any of those?
No. About Aerosmith.
Aerosmith was absolutely right there, yeah. Thank you for that. I would succumb to listening to AC/DC every once in a while, but I always kind of felt bad because their lyrics were yucky.
Yeah. So did you have any pets growing up?
I had a hamster. I didn't really have that many pets, not like what I have now as far as animals. Had a hamster, loved it.
What was
lived
its name?
forever. Abraham.
Abraham.
And it was a girl.
Oh, okay. All right, what kind of historic world events most impacted you while you were growing up that you can remember?
Well, believe it or not, I was born right after the Kennedy assassination. And even though I don't remember that when I was very little, there was still lots of talk about it even after I was, 7 to 10 years old.
Yeah, it's still a pretty big deal.
Yep. So that was a big deal. There was, the Nixon Watergate stuff was a big deal when I was growing up. That was kind of the start of really the political world being not something that people trusted very much anymore. There really wasn't a lot of wars and things like that happened, small skirmishes, but there really wasn't a lot of big historical things until 9/11. And that obviously hasn't been that long ago.
So is there none that you can remember that directly affected your family?
Not really.
Okay.
Not historical events.
So how is the world today different than what it was like as a child?
It's extremely busy. It is extremely self-centered versus in the past. There is a incredible desire for entertainment all the time, and there's a decrease in social activity, face-to-face social activity between people.
Okay.
A lot of social activity, but not face-to-face.
Yeah.
Very different.
So what's the one thing you most want people to remember about you?
Loving father, great husband. That's what I would love to have.
Yeah, that's good. What was your religion growing up?
We really didn't have a strong one. My parents, or at least my mom, attended a Methodist church for a while. Her side of the family was all Mormon, and we were not part of that, but my grandparents were very strong in the LDS church, the Mormon church. We did not have a regular Sunday or religious affiliation until I was older, and then I got to know the Lord Jesus Christ very profoundly, but that was when I was older, but it was not when I was growing up.
Okay. Were you ever mentioned in a newspaper?
Yeah, I think some simple stuff like honor roll student. I was in the paper, used to be in the paper every once in a while for that. Made the Grayson County Dean's List, was in the paper there. I had front page photo of the Paris News with my oldest daughter, Danielle. We were at the park eating a snow cone one time. That was kind of cool. Just more of a human interest thing. It really wasn't anything major.
Yeah. Who were your friends when you were growing up?
Well, the first guy I think about, his name was John Thompson, and he lived in the apartments with me, and he was a skateboarder like me, and he loved football, he loved sports, he was good at it. I wasn't as good at sports, but I always hung out with him and went to his games and all that stuff, and we were really tight. Unfortunately, he was killed in a motorcycle wreck, and it devastated me first year of college. So he was a good friend. I had a couple others that I ended up going to college with that I'd known most of my life. And I've kind of lost contact with them.
Mm-hmm. So describe a typical family dinner at your house.
As in now?
Like,
Or before,
I guess,
when I was younger?
more before you were married.
Well, my mom liked to cook, and even though she worked, she would still come home and cook almost every night. And we had family dinners quite a bit. It didn't seem like it was... Nowadays, it's a lot tougher to do that, because everybody's busy and you got lots more activities you can do. We didn't have as many activities back then. But a typical family dinner would be something like round steak or chicken, vegetables, and a lot of casseroles, but all of it homemade.
So what was your favorite food?
I probably liked round steak a lot back then, and I always liked the Mexican casseroles that my mom made.
Well, but do you remember a least favorite meal your mom would make?
Yeah, she used to cook liver every once in a while, and I really hated that stuff. It's gross. And she would cook salmon patties some, and even though they tasted good, they stunk.
Yeah. So how were the holidays at your house? Christmas, birthdays?
They were good. They were always fun. They were important events. We always got cool stuff. They were played up a lot. We usually started at our house, and then we'd drive over to my grandparents' house in Sherman, spend the rest of the day there. They were always good.
Did you have any special family traditions?
We were somewhat normal on that. I don't know if we've created some really good ones with with my kids now, but I don't remember any special family traditions other than typical presents in the morning, and I don't know if I've got any special family traditions.
All right, here's one more question. What accomplishments are you most proud of?
The raising of my children. I have got absolutely awesome kids, and every one of them is a joy, and none of them have been a problem. I am very proud of that. I can't take all the credit for that, but that's my proudest thing.
Cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.